Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing. Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza DoNisi. Pizza DoNisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month to sandwiches and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
As dawn approaches,
Heineken! Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Hey metalheads, you all hear me talk about Mag Bar all the time. It is the home to the Metal Forge live showcases and is an integral stop in the ultimate underground metal tour schedule. They obviously feature live music, but the Mag Bar also has daily specials like Pint and Slice Night on Tuesdays with Pizza DoNisi. But they also do Bring Your Own Vinyl on Thursdays with DJ Kent Jackson, and Finer Things Sundays. Located right next to Pizza DoNisi at 1398 South 2nd Street, open 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. Get your asses out to the Mag Bar. Rock out. For 45 years and keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They are open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out.
In a broken wasteland, come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon my pyre. Oh, this is the Metal Forge. This is the Metal Forge. This is the Metal Forge. This is the Metal Forge.
What's going on, metalheads? Thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson, and I am your host. Holy fucking shit, it's beginning to look a lot like fuck this. I don't like the snow. No, yeah, it's starting to snow here. I know it's starting to snow in fucking Asheville also, because I saw somebody post about it earlier, and it's like, Jason, how are you doing?
It only looks severe because it was in a street light. Trust me, there's nothing on the ground at all.
Here we are. It is Friday, the Friday before Christmas.
It is.
I feel this is kind of like a coming-of-age episode, Jason, because we went back to the beginning this week. We have Chris Black from
High Spirits
in the Metal Forge, and he was the first guest of the podcast version of the Metal Forge, and I have always felt he has been like an elder statesman in the metal scene, because he has done so many cool other things, like, you know, his connection with Scott in Night, because Scott's the guitar player in High Spirits, and Dawnbringer, and, you know, their connections over on our side with, like, Savage Master and Adam Neal and that scene there, and then it's like it leads to this and it leads to that, and it's like this whole thing of where I found myself coming back, and all of a sudden it's like, you know, I need to reach out to Chris and have him back on, because things have just happened so crazily over the last 5 years that here we are, over 250 episodes, and, you know, here's fucking Chris back. I love it.
Yeah, it's cool to go full circle sometimes. Feels like a new beginning again, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a homecoming, you know, because I felt like Chris gave me my voice to do this show, because he was the first guest I actually had outside of this area. Because when I was on the radio, I was bound to this area. And it's like, dude, I know that was like, you know, 5 years ago. Why do you still talk about it? It's like, it's still a valid thing. And those episodes are in the archives on the YouTube page now. Also, the whole Metal Forge series is listed on there. So if you ever get fucking on a whim, go down the rabbit hole, listen to the fucking archives. You can also catch other shit on there with all the other Flamekeeper stuff, like Aaron Assant's ossont&battery, Jason's Alehorn and Mudhorn and Alehorn Unsleeved, and Justin Daniel White's Metal on a Budget. Which, dude, that's what I'm looking forward to in 2024. And I know next week you and I and Daniel and Aaron are all going to be here doing a fatal four-way with albums of the year and what's going on for our perspective endeavors in 2024. But dude, like, what do you think of 2023, man?
It was good. There's a lot at the beginning of the year people forgot about. That shouldn't be forgotten, but all in all, it's a pretty busy year for fandom and fandom, I guess you could say, for us.
Fandom and bandom.
Fandom and fandom, yeah. So yeah, I mean, like, it's a good year, but I mean, dude, really every year is a good year. It's just like there's always shit that happens in every year. People just tend to focus on the negative, but really, I mean, you know, unless you like just lose like a immediate family member or three, in my case, it's 2014.
Right.
Most years are, you know, pretty good. So, you know, you can always find good albums and stuff, and good movies and good shows that were in a year that you can remember back. So,
oh yeah.
I try not to get too negative, except for 2014. 2014 can go fuck itself still, but
I've got a year that was that way.
Good, yeah.
2014 kind of sucked like that for me too.
Yeah. But anyway, we're not here to be Debbie Downers here.
No, hell no, because we're talking about awesome, cool shit. And dude, seriously, like, for me, coming full circle like that is pretty fucking cool, because it's like seeing how we've both grown in the scene over the last few years. of seeing what they're doing live, what, you know, even talking about doing the tape thing with him was awesome. And like, you know, I totally want to do that shit, and that's going to be awesome to do. And, you know, I'm just looking forward to a lot of cool shit. Yeah, just, you know, looking forward to fucking awesome new tours, awesome new albums, you know, being able to release stuff as a band with Overload, you know, and Ice Howl and whatever else, you know, and whatever, you know, TW's gonna be doing, or Dick Von Doom, or fucking any of that shit.
Dick Von Doom, the band that we started and never did anything with.
Yeah, that it's gonna fucking happen. Dude, it'll work. Just gotta fucking make it happen. Don't just talk about it, be about it.
We have been talking about doing more like online idea sharing, so I didn't learn.
Hell yeah, man! Don't just talk about it, be about it.
I just like creating it within a group more than myself. Yeah.
I get you. Yeah, man. So fuck yeah, brother. Are you a High Spirits fan?
I'm not the most familiar with them, but I do know of them.
Right on, man. So
I mean, there's so many bands out there. If someone says they know every band and every song by every band, they're probably full of shit, because there's no fucking way.
I don't know, dude.
So many.
I don't know, dude. Fucking dude from New Wave of Traditional Heavy Metal on YouTube. He has a fuckload of stuff, and he also posts other shit on Facebook through the day that he's listening to. That's even older stuff.
Yeah, I mean, some people do, but there's no way I could. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot. Yeah.
Oh, I know, man.
I've been in this like comfort food mode for a while, where I just don't care about finding new shit. I just keep listening to old shit or new shit by old bands,
right?
You know? And that's like it for me. So like, I've been kind of stuck in that for a while.
I get it, dude. And that's why I push everything on the Metal Forge like I do. Because it's like trying to get new bands out there, trying to get older bands that are releasing newer things out there.
Yeah.
Because everybody has the thing to flourish. So, dude, I am going to go ahead and play some High Spirits here. Because I always do this. It's like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Of course I'm going to do it, because it's always going to fucking happen, right? So let's just go ahead to my favorite fucking High Spirits song. This is Lonely Nights. All right, metalheads, this week is super fucking awesome because we're celebrating a couple of milestones for the Metal Forge. 3, actually. We just recently passed 250 episodes, which is super fucking cool. And we are starting our 5th year of doing shows here in 2024, and we went back to the beginning of the podcast era for this week's guest. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, children, if you're listening to this show, don't tell your parents. I have Mr. Chris Black from
High Spirits.
No, it sounded good to me. You know, it never sounds terrible to me. To hear someone else singing that back at us, I mean, that's one of my favorite sounds in the world. So thank you for that,
dude. Like, no, seriously, thank you. First and foremost, I do want to get this out of the way because I don't want to drop this on you and give you a complex, but I'm going to.
Okay.
Dude, I appreciate the fuck out of you because in 2020, it was January. Well, actually, it was a couple weeks into 2020. It was just like early January when I reached out to you and asked you if you would do this podcast idea that I had. And it was a big step for me. And obviously, you can hear it in the first episode. I was listening to it earlier, and I was really kind of stuttering my way through it. And now, I still stutter my way through episodes, but they're a lot more fun now. Dude, so thank you so fucking much for, like, giving me my voice to what I have to say for the metal community.
Oh, well, thank you for doing what you do, too, Mark, and congratulations on the milestones. I was looking, before we got connected tonight, I was looking back at the email you sent me recently, because I had it in my head that it was 3 years, and then when I saw it again just now, I was like, 5 years? Has it really been 5 years? But, that's the way time is.
Dude, it's every week.
Yeah.
But no, we're here to talk about High Spirits and Mr. Chris Black. Dude, I've always admired the one-man fucking deal. Because I can't play drums. I can't program drums. I play bass, but I play bass like fucking Lemmy, like, hard fucking core, heavy-handed, and I'm just like, so like, when it comes to listening to High Spirits and all of the finesse that goes into writing a song where there's just like twin leads and a rhythm and fucking just like these little licks underneath everything, dude,
there's a lot that goes into it. And you mentioned the drums aspect. I've heard a few times over the years that there may be people in a similar position to you where that's kind of the missing piece for themselves. Like, man, I'd be able to do this solo thing I want to do if it wasn't for the drums.
Yep.
I think the drums is maybe what hangs a lot of people up in that regard. And what can I say? I mean, the drums was in a way my first instrument as a little kid. I mean, every little kid likes drums, right? Every little kid.
Oh yeah, because we all beat on shit as a kid, right?
I mean, it's everybody's first instrument, right? But I really attached to it, to drums at a young age, and kind of dabbled in a few other instruments as a kid. But then by high school, I was obsessed. I mean, there was one summer I must have been like 13 or 14. There was one summer where I was too old to go to like sports, like day camp. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was too old for that, but I was too young to get a summer job. So what did I do? I just played drums in the basement for 6-7 hours a day that whole summer. And I think that's where maybe my skill level, really kind of maybe it peaked. I don't know if I'm, in terms of my physical drum ability, I don't know if I've ever been that good. But kind of from that point forward, I always thought of drums as my main instrument. I mean, which is weird because nowadays people, regard me as a singer or as a singer-songwriter, which isn't wrong. I do identify as a songwriter first and foremost, but it's definitely true that my first instrument was drums.
And this is wild as shit because, like, with listening to High Spirits, I associate you as a guitar player.
Really? Yeah, and that's my
I
worst
do
instrument.
because, like, no disrespect to your live band. To the dudes, I love fucking all of them. They're all great dudes. They all have such awesome other things going, like Basher and Ninth and, just so many other fucking things, just to name a couple. Yep. But the thing about it is just like, I completely, because it's such a guitar-driven band for the most part. You've got twin leads, you've got awesome fucking rhythmic patterns on guitar where the guitar, the bass, the drums all do it. And it's all this thing. It's really percussive like that, which gets back to your drum aspect. But to me, it's like, I don't know. It's like, I see the page out of the Maiden book, but it's rewritten in your handwriting, which is great.
Yeah, that's
it's your version
that's
of
flattering.
It.
That's flattering to hear you put it that way, and it's a little bit ironic too, because like I said, guitar is my worst instrument, man. The guitar tracks on a recording session will take me, maybe 10 times as long as the drums. The drums, I can whack it out on the drums, and that's which is not, this isn't the most, as a drummer, this is not the most challenging, we're not playing technical speed metal or anything with, 30 riffs in each song, for the approach on the drums is pretty straightforward. The approach on the rhythm guitars is similarly straightforward, but that's where I struggle. That's where it takes me just a long damn time
I get it
sounding the way it needs to sound to satisfy me.
Right. And there's that one-off time where you get that weird down pick or some shit and it ruins the whole take. No,
You know what it usually is? It's usually on my fretting hand. It's usually me squeezing the neck too hard and pulling a string a little bit sharp. Or maybe pulling all the strings a little bit sharp. I'm kind of cursed with these... Dan Swino, who mixed the last two records, was like, "Man, you have hawk ears," because there's a couple things along the way that I'd point out, be like, something sounds a little off right there, and he'd be like, "I don't hear it," and then half an hour later, I'd get the next email, "Okay, I do hear it now." Say, "Hey, you have hawk ears," and that's that's as much a blessing as it is a curse.
Oh, absolutely,
especially like on those like little like really fine like tuning irregularities. Like maybe somebody else doesn't hear it, but I sure do hear it, and I will spend an evening getting that sounding the way I want it to sound. And I think you said you play bass with kind of a percussionist's approach.
I play super heavy-handed.
I think that's my hang up with guitar too. I think since I learned on drums and I'm used to taking a stick and whacking a thing and that being my instrument, like, electric guitar doesn't tolerate that kind of that amount of force or that amount of pressure. So, that's like I said, that's where I always struggle. That's always the longest phase of the process and the least fun, I would add.
But I will say, it is fucking amazing once it's done.
Well, thank you. That means it's time well spent. If it sounds good in the end, it sounds good in the end, it's worth the blood, sweat, and the tears.
Oh, for sure, because, you just put out a new album, Safe on the Other Side. And, dude, like, I knew it was going to be good. I didn't expect it to be as fucking awesome as it was.
Oh, well, cool.
Because I didn't even look at the track listing before I listened. I went straight blind into it. and I was surprised actually when I got to the third song on the album. And honestly, it's my favorite High Spirits song.
Oh, so were you familiar with it already from
from the Escape
the previous
EP.
version? Okay.
Yeah, from the previous version. So, Lonely Nights.
Yeah.
Wow. Usually, I am not a fan. Personally, I am not a fan of bands recording something and then re-recording it later on a different version. But I will say, I dig this. This is
cool.
such the changes that have been made to it. So I'm a Star Wars nerd here. Let me equate it like this. Some of the special edition changes are not that bad. No, seriously, like the picking difference in the beginning is really kind of cool. I dig it. It gives it a different feeling. It gives it a different tone to me. The more spoken word first verse, rather than the sung first verse in the previous version, gives it more of an actual solemn feel to me. You know, so it makes me feel more. And then once you get into the second verse where you add the echo and the reverb effects in the later two lines with "Forever in My Heart," and it does that fucking dude. Bam.
Cool. Glad it works for you. That was a song that I always loved. That song. We played it live on at least one tour. Maybe we did it on two tours. But anyway,
you didn't do it on the tour that I saw you.
Yeah, well, the tour I'm thinking of was in Europe, and I don't remember seeing you there.
No, never been, but I'm hoping to go soon.
Oh, you should, man. You should, man. Everybody should at least once. Got to travel the world. You know, not just Europe. Travel the world. There's, I've never been to the East. I still love to visit. Would love to visit Japan. I'd love to visit Australia. But coming back to Lonely Nights, it was that EP was kind of just like a tour EP. Mm-hmm. It didn't get released widely other than that. It never came out on CD.
No.
As a result, a lot of people were kind of just not familiar with it. And that song in particular, I always had a lot of confidence in that song. That was, definitely my favorite one on the EP. But the fact that the release maybe didn't travel as far, didn't reach as many people, always had me thinking like, maybe we need to give that song another whack one of these times. You mentioned some of the differences. It's slightly faster. The tempo is maybe. I'd have to go back and look to say exactly, but it's it's noticeable, but it's not insane. Right. It's maybe like 4 or 6 BPM faster than the original. There's some flash on the drums, I think, that wasn't in the original. I'm happier with the vocal, which was I just knew it could be at least the same, if not better, and that it was worth a try. And there was that song, and we did a remake also of a song called "One Last Chance," which was also from an earlier tour EP. And we did a cover song for the first time, which is "Memories." And going into it, my thinking was, so we've got these 3 kind of non-standard songs, if you want to say it that way. I was like, well, I don't think all 3 of them are going to end up on the album. You know what I mean? We'll take 1 or 2 that turn out the best, put them on the album, maybe use one as a B-side if we do a single. So, I kind of went into it with an open mind, like, maybe this will turn out to be worthwhile. And maybe, like you said, because I'm the same way, like I don't usually like the re-recorded version of a song as much as the original version. And, there's a lot of reasons, that can happen. But I had an open mind to saying, you know what, forget it. It was worth a try. And I had an open mind to saying, you know what, this sounds kick-ass. Let's put it on the record. And in case of Lonely Nights, that's the way it went.
Hell yeah, man. And like I said, for me, it hit me at a time like I said, when I was starting to get this show up and going as a podcast, where I'd had the break from the radio era, and that was the start of it. I bought that EP and I bought Motivator.
Yeah.
And it was just like, shit, man. And it blew me the fuck away. And like, dude, I still fucking to this day break out the EP on like a fucking like a regular basis and listen to it. Like all your Bandcamp listens on that EP are probably from me.
Probably you.
Especially Lonely Nights, because I fucking keep repeating the son of a bitch.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, like I said, it seemed like it didn't really travel as far, maybe as it could have. So that again, that was a reason to.
Dude, it would be
song another stab.
I'm just gonna put this out here. It might be worth a 12-inch single repress.
It might be. Well, you know what I want to do actually at some point, maybe for the next wave of touring, is I want to do a CD that's got both of those EPs. That's got the 2013 EP and the Escape EP on.
Ooh, that would be awesome.
So make it a full length, and then maybe we could do a vinyl that's like one on each side. Also, so I've had that idea.
Hell yeah, dude, that would be super fucking rad. So I know we've got limited time here, and we're about 20 in. So I am breaking some news here on this episode that going into 2024, Flamekeeper, the overall deal that we're calling this, Jason Gardner and I and Aaron Assant and Daniel White, the other guys who are involved, we're starting a bootleg tape label.
Oh, cool.
And I have a particular idea that I'm gonna release as a single box set release on this. And it's gonna be It Could Happen tour from Lexington, Kentucky.
Okay.
Which is a High Spirit, Savage Master, and Black Knife show.
Oh, that's cool. That was a good show.
It was a great show, dude. It was so fucking fun. But yeah, I'm thinking about doing that as a tape release. Of course,
if I give you permission, it's not a bootleg anymore, so I'll have to pretend. I don't know what's coming. And
I mean, hey, who knows? It might not come out. Hey, that might not.
If you
be
want,
us.
I'll threaten to sue you if you want. That'll add some
do it. That motherfucker.
I mean, that wouldn't be my style at all. I mean, there's. Even if you wanted to prevent something like that, you really can't, right? I mean, people are going to do what they're going to do. Everybody's got their phone at a show, and just put that stuff out there. Is kind of my philosophy.
Man. I mean, it's like the whole thing. Like you said, you did the cover with Memories, right? And ultimately, that's a thing that we all got to look at when on the professional side of that stuff. And that's all the stuff that we don't want to have to look at, like licensing songs and all of that jargon. It kind of takes the fun out of it.
Well, yeah.
But
it doesn't take the fun out of it on, the artist's end. But yeah. Go on.
But for sure. So, I mean, that's really where it's at. It's like, inject the fucking fun back into it, And, dude, like, this album, though. For one, I love the album cover, the simplistic High Spirits font, the simplistic title at the bottom, and the maze.
Yeah, we keep it real basic. I mean, the maze is almost too complicated for the types of imagery that we usually do, but it was like, it was either going to be a bridge or it was going to be a maze, and it ended up being a maze.
Dude,
because the title "Safe on the Other Side" that could easily, that could be represented by a bridge.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
And dude, so like, it's a banging album the entire way through. Like I said, going from, and I listened to it from front to back a few times. And like I said, I even did that today before coming up onto the show here. And just like some of the fucking songs, like, blow me the fuck away, man. Just like There Will Be Magic Tonight.
It's a fun one.
It is, like, and the thing about it is like when you write an album and put an album out, how do you decide and curate your set after that? Because ultimately it's like you've really got to say, is this going to go live?
Yeah, that's a good question. And it's, it takes some time, I would say, to kind of feel out. Well, first of all, we start with the ones that we want to do, the ones that we're kind of chomping at the bit to try live. And then you find that some songs don't work as well live.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also find on the other side that some songs work unexpectedly well live. And I'll give you an example. The song I Need Your Love.
On the other side?
What's that?
On the other side?
On the other side.
On the other side.
Conversely.
No,
the song
I think it's my lyrical theme a lot of the time is you're out on the run and under the gun. And yours is On the Other Side.
Yeah.
Because it does come up a lot. I dig it, though.
It does come up a lot. A lot of night and day. A lot of trying to get from the night to the day, and a lot of trying to get from the day to the night.
Yep.
And just like keeping that cycle going, I think is what life is about. You can look at it that way. I mean, that's one life philosophy. Is like you just gotta keep moving, keep going. But we were talking about the live set, and I was gonna say that song "I Need Your Love" from You Are Here, like, didn't really think of that as a live song at all when we were working on that album. And when that album came out, it was like, like I said, I wasn't thinking about it, didn't even really consider it. And then I don't know, honestly, what it was that inspired us to try it, if it was audience requests or if it was maybe somebody in the band who really pushed for it. I wish I could say, but I honestly don't remember. But in any case, we finally tried it on one tour, and it went over so well in terms of the audience participation, in terms of the way the band was able to really swing it and really do a good delivery of it. Turned out to be a great live song. It's like, I was super surprised. So it's not always easy to predict what's going to work and what's not. It takes time. You gotta give things time to kind of gel live. Like that song "Thank You," man, we played "Thank You" for a year, 2 years, I don't know. We had to kind of beat people over the head with "Thank You" to get it to the point where it was like kind of a live standard, one that we do every single, and now we do it every single night, and people expect it and want it and want to sing along with it.
That's how you ended. That's how you ended our the set in Lexington. It was High Spirits and Thank You.
And now it's going to be "Thank You" and "Good Night."
Okay, cool. So yeah, I figured that's how it was going to be.
Well, that's what we're going to try anyway. Yeah, I mean, that was kind of like, I thought for a long time that since we have a song called "Thank You," there should be one called "Good Night" that we could play live play right after. I didn't actually write the song until more recently.
Right.
I was like, we got to have one called "Good Night" to go with that. So that's the plan there. Hopefully it's a good live song. We'll see.
Yeah, so then you have it called the Trinity, and then it's High Spirits, Thank You, and Good Night.
Yeah. It works for me.
Right. See, it's all in threes or some shit, right? Is what they say. No,
I like the live set to tell a story. I like to put things in an order that makes sense and have, there's kind of like kind of like an arc to it, you know.
Yeah,
And
no,
again, that
I
takes
totally
time
dig
too.
that.
That takes time too. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 nights on a tour before things kind of like find their right.
Yeah,
find their
maybe
right
we
order.
should switch these 2 songs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know,
Or maybe
the
we
flow.
should exactly, or move one. Maybe that's too early in the set for something, or it's too late. Like Full Power, you can't put Full Power at the bottom of the set. That's like, you know, that's like an early, you know, that's a butt kicker that has to be in there near the beginning. So
Oh, definitely. Hell yeah. So, after everything, at the end of the day, what still fuels the High Spirits fire?
that's a good question too. I think the short answer is the audience. It's the crowd and like all these, all the energy that feeds back to us from the audience and from the listeners to the studio recordings. I think there's this bond that we've created with the music, with the lyrics, with the way the live show, the way that is performed, is delivered to the audience. I think we've created this bond that is really what sustains us and will sustain us going forward. You know, that's the off the top of my head answer. I mean, I have at times a lot of motivation and a lot of inspiration as a songwriter. It's not constant. It's not every season or every year that I feel as creative or as productive, but it comes in waves. You know, when that tide comes in, it's my favorite thing to be doing is, you know, working on songs in my studio. So yeah, it's my own personal energy and creativity that drives it. But I think equally it's what the rest of the band brings to the live show. And then again, there's that bond that,
Absolutely.
That it's kind of hard to define, right? But there's that energy that happens like right at, you know, that's connecting the audience to the band. And I think that right there is,
Well, yeah, because I think on a whole level with the band, bringing their energy to the live show too, you know, because you've had a long history with most of these dudes, you know, especially Scott with Dawnbringer, and you know, when Bobby came in, you know, and all of the people that he had people with before, and everybody kind of knew each other, kind of shit, right? So
Totally.
you all knew the professionality with it, and now, you know, it's this. I think it's an experience to see you all.
I hope so.
And
I hope so. I mean, that's the intention.
Dude, like, seriously, like, from everything, the black shirts and white pants, and, you know, just the overall look of everything, and everybody's on a white instrument, and it's so fucking rad, dude. It is a thing. And I dig it. And I think that's part of it as well, is the image. Another thing I wanted to ask you is, so I consult the metal archives, the great O-Metal archives, a lot. They have your lyrical themes listed as rocking, jubilation, and love.
I'll take it.
Absolutely.
I remember a few years ago, and I had to go and look to see it for myself. One of the lyrical themes was being in high spirits. Hey, that works. That works for me.
Dude, that's amazing.
Like I said, somebody told me that, like, you know, that's what it says on the metal archives, and I was like, this, I got it.
Dude,
Sure
I'm
enough.
just gonna say this. The picture on your profile is fucking great, because it's like a whitish gray background. You're in a white shirt and a leather jacket, and you have hair.
Oh yeah, that would be from. I think if it's the picture I'm thinking of.
You look like a British badass. You look like Hey mate, I'll kick your ass.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was probably a few beers in when that was. If it's the picture I'm thinking of, that is from 2007, so pre-high spirits, and that was from a Faro photo session. Actually,
Nice.
we all rendezvoused at a hotel near Pittsburgh, and kind of like it's actually a pretty hilarious story that night. We since I was in Chicago and the other guys were closer to Philly, we met in the middle in Pittsburgh and at a hotel. And the first thing that we did, well, actually this had already happened by the time I got there, but Matt, the guitar player, had brought a toolkit with him and disassembled all of the furniture in this hotel room, stacked it up against a wall so that we could build a backdrop and everything to do a photo shoot just in this hotel room in Pittsburgh. And whatever, that band never did anything the normal way or the easy way, but we did it our way. And so we were, like I said,
take these beds apart. Take
stuff happened.
Take that chair. We don't need that chair. Take it apart.
Throw it out the window.
Yep. Burn it.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know if and then we had like some female friends show up with a couple cases of beer, and so there was some partying going on, and the whole time we were kind of shaking our heads like, the people who work at this hotel must think there's something really interesting going on in this room. That, I mean, this is kind of interesting to us, but I don't think anybody else would really. It was probably pretty tame compared to what they were imagining. It's like, I don't know if they're going to start bringing goats in there or what. But now I really hope that's the picture that I'm thinking of, because I've just told this goofy story, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Dude, you say that, and I immediately thought of, I have a feeling there's something very interesting behind this door from Beetlejuice.
Yeah, this wasn't very interesting. Like I said, I mean, compared to what they were probably imagining was going on, it was pretty tame, pretty PG rated.
Right. All right, we're going to switch over to the derailed segment. You kind of had a real weird version of this way back in the day, so we've limited it now to 5 questions, all about you, Mr. Chris Black. Okay. Rather than high spirits, this is all about you, and it's 5 random questions.
Okay, I hope I have the ego for it. We'll see.
You should. Why do you think you're here in this moment?
Because my parents had a moment about 45 years and 9 months ago before this moment. That one's easy.
Shit. This
and because of you doing what you do and you like my tunes.
Well,
that's
fuck
what
yeah.
brings us here.
And dude, it's cosmic. It's I don't know, not like in the Zodiac says, not like that kind of cosmic. I mean, I think it's all, dude, it's like Floyd. Everything comes in waves, man.
It does. It's all connected somehow too. It's like, it's those cycles, it's like the night and day and the tides coming in and out.
Right.
And every 5 years, you and I are going to get together and do this. So.
And it's probably, and it's not every 5 years. I'll see you at a show in like a year now. And
yeah, but
like last
what
time.
I mean.
And I'll tape it. And and actually, hopefully, it'll be a show we're playing together.
That would be fun.
That's the elbow nudge. No, just kidding. What is the best compliment you've ever received?
And that's about me. That's not about the band, because I have an easy answer for the band.
Right.
But for me, that's hard to say. Probably that somebody would consider me reliable. I think that's reliable or trustworthy. I think that would be,
dude. I
best thing.
Totally could see that you are.
I think that would be how I would most like to be known.
Dude, absolutely. And hey, you were perfectly on time with me, and hey, You always have been. You've always got back to me. So I'm like, hey, man, this dude's fucking awesome. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank
dude,
you. I like being on. I do like being on time. That's for sure.
For sure, man. What do you take too seriously?
Probably myself.
Really?
Sometimes. Yeah, I tend to overthink things. I take decision making too seriously. Sometimes.
Are you the guy that walks around the store with something and then puts it back?
That can happen. I can stand staring at my CD collection for 20 minutes trying to decide what I want to listen to.
Same.
And even in creative matters, I can spend a whole night trying a song 99 different ways, and at the end of the night say, you know what? No, I had it right the first time. There goes another 5 hours of my life, scratching my head about something I don't need to scratch my head about when I should have just been listening to my instinct, to trust my instinct, trust my gut. So yeah. Sometimes decision making, I can be too slow.
Understand that. Yeah, I'm definitely that same way when it comes to doing the same thing with like guitar riffs and shit like that. And I'm just like, did I have it right the first time? Did I have it right 20 times ago? What was it?
Yeah.
And then
completely
it's like, losing it.
Is it even that important in the grand scheme of things anyway? Like that's kind of where I come back to. And it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. It's rock and roll,
Right.
Or it just doesn't matter. These are your CDs. You like them all. That's why you have them. Just pick one and listen to it,
Oh, for sure. And it's like, but I think that's where metalheads are really picky about shit. And I'm a weird fucking yes, that's the thing.
There's so much to choose from.
Because it's like, am I in a high spirits mood today? Am I in a Savage Master mood today? Am I in a Metallica mood today? Am I in
right.
I don't know, an Arch Druid mood today? It's whoever. And then you get just like, oh.
Or then it can be like, what mood do I want to be in today? Because there's the whole like mood changing aspect of music too. It's like,
oh yeah, like listening to Doom, because it's winter now and we're actually getting a little bit of snow here. And
I wish we were, man. I wish we were. It's never enough for me.
And you're in Chicago.
Yeah, but last year we had almost none. And this year so far we had about an inch. Excuse me, we had about an inch on Halloween. And that was it. So far we're at 0, but the night is young.
Bonus question then. So with the snow deal and everything, why not, if you like the snow so much, why don't you just move a little bit farther north? I mean, are you just entrenched in Chicago?
I'm entrenched. I mean, it's my home at this point.
Right.
I always say I wasn't born here, but my kids were. So it's home. We love our house. We love our neighborhood.
Yeah, because you're a Jersey boy, right?
I lived in New Jersey till I was 10, and then Pennsylvania till I was 22, and Chicago since then.
Oh hell yeah, man!
But yeah, made in New Jersey. And sometimes when people find that out, they say, "Oh, like that explains something." Like that explains something they were already thinking about me. It's like, oh, okay. What can I say?
He's here for witness relocation. No, no. Digital or analog?
For what purpose?
Whatever purpose. Let's say recording.
Digital.
Okay.
I'd probably say digital for pretty much any purpose.
Okay.
I know.
Even music, listening.
In an either or, if I could only pick one, then yeah, digital.
Right, because of the size of the medium versus the size of the medium. Yeah,
It doesn't.
because
It doesn't.
having
All the
billion
usual
tons of
things. It
vinyl.
doesn't degrade. It doesn't. You know, you can stream it instead of sending it through the mail. You can just send it through the cloud. I mean, there's
Right.
there's all the usual reasons I kind of agree with. Do I love my vinyl? Absolutely. Am
For
I
sure.
glad that we have both? Absolutely. But in a strict either or, I would say digital.
Well, yeah, and I think everybody has the dream of that analog recording, like that 2-inch tape deal kind of thing.
Sure.
But in a realistic setting, when you're in a heavy metal band or an independent heavy metal band, yeah, you can spend that kind of money and do that thing and get that production, but you really have to fucking push that product.
Oh yeah,
and it
and
has
you have
to
be prepared.
Yes.
You have to know your songs inside and out, up and down, and not be about to making any kind of last minute changes during the studio
Yes.
phase of it, because time is money, right?
Oh yeah, and if you're going to tape and everything, and then it's still going to get digitized at some point anyway, but like it's just like, wow, man, that's a heavy undertaking.
It is, and I've been involved in projects where we use tape, where we use 2-inch tape, and yeah, I mean, I get the advantages. I get that it can be a selling point. I don't really think it's a fair selling point. I don't think it really,
Right.
means anything. I think all that really matters is the experience of, listening to it. But for some people, there's that, that intellectual aspect of knowing certain facts about the music that they're listening to, or, certain like background
Right.
information
It's
to it that they bring
analog
to
to
the listening
analog.
experience. So, but that's valid too. I mean, everybody's going to experience art in their own way.
Their own subjective
So
way, yeah.
my way isn't any better than your way isn't any better than the next person's way. So especially as I've gotten older, I'm, more open to those differences. But, back to the question, I think, like I said, in a strict either or, I'm going digital.
Well, yeah, and I think it's definitely the way everything's going at this point, because look, we all release our albums digitally because that's the way people listen and consume at this point.
Exactly. And I think that's cool. I think the accessibility of it, I mean, the fact that somebody in what's a faraway country, somebody in New Zealand, all they need is a device and an internet connection, and they can listen to High Spirits.
Right.
They don't have to find some record store that's willing to get or pay, spend $50 with shipping to buy a record from somewhere. They can listen to it right now if they want, and I think that's awesome.
Well,
I think
yeah,
that's great.
because you're accessible all over the world, and probably on others at this point.
That would be cool.
Well, I'm sure, dude, it's like radio waves we're sending out here. Even this connection is going out, and
That's true. That's true. It's
somewhere, and
being scooped up by somebody somewhere.
yeah, like Worf is listening to this right now.
I hope so.
I do too. He's like, these dishonorable humans. They're talking about metal music. They have never heard the opera of Vogue. No, I don't know. I'm just being an ass now. But no, seriously. Yeah, the digital thing for the convenience, I totally get. Of course, we all love our vinyl. I have some sitting in the floor I've got to pick up from changing around my my station.
And like I said, it's great that there's both. It's great that, if somebody wants to listen to it on Spotify, listen to it on Spotify. If somebody would rather buy the record and listen to it on the record, we make that available too. I mean, I want it to be, again, it's about the accessibility, right? Because, we play music because we want to be heard.
Right, absolutely. And honestly, that was one of the things I wanted to bring up with the anthem, There Will Be Magic Tonight, I think. Dude, that's like that whole sing along song, I think.
It would be It will be a challenge to put that together
but
with the live band.
but it would be so good.
We'll try it. We'll try it. There's definitely been. You're not the first person to express some interest in. Excuse me, in hearing that with the live band. So we will definitely, sooner or later, we will definitely give that one a try.
Hell yeah, man. Chris, thank you so much. This has been so fucking cool. I do have one more question, but before we get to it, as always, links are listed below, so please give likes, shares, and follows. Because, dude, spread the fucking word. Get more word out there. You know, this is a fucking awesome platform. This is an awesome way to do things. You know, get to the band camps, go buy merch, do the things, support High Spirits and all of these bands in any way you can, because that's what it's all the way fucking about. Do you have any shout outs you want to give to anybody today?
Oh, not anything out of the ordinary. You know, I just want to thank everybody who's been tuned in to High Spirits and, you know, checked out the new album, or checked out the old albums, you know, kind of just keeping us going and spreading the word. Like you said, just being tuned in to all the music that's happening again after, you know, a few years where there wasn't a lot going on. You know, I think we are, you could say, safe on the other side from that kind of creative depression that certainly I felt, and I think a lot of my fellow songwriters and musicians also experienced.
Absolutely.
During that time, I think 2023 was a great year for our band. We had an amazing few trips over to Europe. We played in some countries where we hadn't played before. Saw a lot of old friends, made a lot of new friends. Got to release an album that has been getting a really great response, and also kind of doing its job of getting out there and turning some new people onto the band and giving us a good foundation for this new year 2024, and see what kind of gigs and what kinds of touring we're going to come up with for this year.
Hell yeah, dude.
So yeah, if that's my shout out, is thank you. Just thanks everyone for checking us out, keeping us going.
Fuck
you
yeah,
too,
man.
Mark.
Dude, thank you. Dude, that is so fucking awesome. Final question of the day. What question do you want to ask the universe? We are still here, folks.
There's a lot of silence to edit out here.
I started hearing space, the final frontier.
Man, that's a hard one.
That is.
That is a really hard one. I'd like to know how it began. I think a lot of people would like to know how it ends. I'd like to know how it began.
Where it all came from.
Yeah, I think my intellectual curiosity exceeds any other type of curiosity. I've never been a. It may sound strange, but I've never been a spiritually curious person. Really, I've always had a very earthly mentality.
Right.
In all my years, so I think going along with that, maybe I'd like to know, where it all came from.
Absolutely, dude.
How did it start?
There's a scene in Masters of the Universe Revelation, the new Netflix cartoon, where Tila sees the making of the universe in it. And
so this has already been answered. I just need to watch some more Netflix.
Yeah, right. No, I'm not pushing that. That's not sponsored, folks. But no, it's like, but it is an interesting concept to see, why see where it ends? See the beauty of the beginning of everything, that there is hope of something.
Yeah. Because that was probably the only time that anything was perfect. right?
Yeah.
When it was just an idea. I would say ideas are the only perfect thing is ideas. Once you try to take that idea out of somebody's intellect or imagination, it's never going to be perfect. It might still be good, it might be great, but
it'll never be what it was the envisioned
exactly
thing. That's heavy as shit.
Hey, we got there.
And dude, that is fucking Chris Black from High Spirits. Dude, on the way out today, from your vast catalog, what do you want to leave out with everybody? What song?
Oh, you know what we started doing on tour? It was kind of like a moldy oldie that we brought back for the tour that we did with Raven in September. There's a song from the second High Spirits demo called Never Going Back. That felt real good to play that one again after I don't know how many years. It's always been one of my favorites, so that'd be my pick to close out. Never Going Back.
Hell yeah, man. So here it is from High Spirits, Never Going Back.
Promised another day.
In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shadebeast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shadebeast Presents concert series. Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit Shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shadebeast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soul Grinder Zine! An independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now. Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Set back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code METALFORGE10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now. Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby. Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana is the premier 12,500 square foot music superstore that has served both southern Indiana and Louisville, Kentucky metro area for over 4 decades. Originally founded by Marvin and Beverly Maxwell in the 70s, this gym remains a Maxwell family-owned business. Mark Maxwell, along with his business partner Whitney McNichol, continued the reputation as being the national resource for all things music.
In 2022, the iconic Guitar Emporium of Louisville relocated to Maxwell's Music, creating the largest independently owned showroom in the region. The retail offerings at Maxwell's Music includes a huge selection of guitars, basses, amplifiers, effects pedals, modeling amps, keyboards, drums, banjos, mandolins, ukuleles, sound systems, stage lighting equipment, and accessories. The music education program at Maxwell's is second to none. From private instrument and voice lessons to DJ, EDM, recording, songwriting, and music theory, to rock school, weekend warriors, and Maxwell's Music Lab, there is something for every age and every ability level.
Down in Repairland, guitar and instrument repairs and refurbishment are taken care of by the Maxwell's team of expert guitar technicians and luthiers. They also do appraisals of instruments as well. Maxwell's offers installations for professional audio, visual, and lighting systems for schools, churches, clubs, VFWs, funeral homes, sports fields, and so much more. There's also rentable space at Maxwell's, from the music practice and rehearsal rooms for the individuals and bands, all the way to a meeting space and concert venue that seats up to 120. That also includes a professional audio, visual, and lighting system and a sound booth. Maxwell's has it all. All this plus an original functioning 1947 recording booth to make your own record. Go to the Guitar Hero throne, to the very own Elvis statue, and don't forget the Harmony Green Pocket Park. There's a reason the Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana has been recognized by the National Association of Music Merchants as a #1 award-winning best store design, as well as top 100 music store year after year. You gotta see it to believe it. Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana.